it's a kids movie. I think it's gonna do great.
Well, it's a kids movie, but like they're trying to drag her to the dark parts of the afterlife, right?
My kids are gonna watch it. I think it is what it is.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List. It's the Halloween episode. Yay! I have put up some of the scariest movies of this year that we had access to posters to, and yes, I am including Minions in that. No regrets. But yeah, Halloween, it's basically the time when the entire world comes together and decides to dress like it's Comic-Con for one night only, worldwide. It's my favorite time of the year. But let's move into opening spotlight before we get into all the spooky and scary movies that are coming out this weekend, and there are quite a few coming out. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the movie news. We have finally found someone to steer the ship of DC Comics, of the DCEU, the movies and everything. Not gonna lie, this one kind of came as a surprise to me. James Gunn and Peter Safran are confirmed to be taking over essentially the DCEU. They're taking on other factions and projects and whatnot as well, but that's kind of the main thing here. It's been handed around. The guy quit. The last guy quit after the whole Batgirl thing. Said he was going to leave here. There were some other people in the works, but we have landed on James Gunn, and he's already been a part of the DC universe.
Yes, he has.
He made Suicide Squad. He's been part of Peacemaker. He's got, I don't know how many other projects, spinoffs that they're planning with him and everything.
And he's also, I think this is a good pickup for them because he had some success in Marvel before. You correct me if I'm wrong. He did some of the Guardians of the Galaxy films.
Yep.
So I think this is going to be it's still going to be different and have their own take and their own spin, but maybe he can take some of those positive things that may helped make the Marvel Cinematic Universe and bring them over to DC.
And you bring up an excellent point that helps me segue here. How is this going to affect Marvel? Because he still has a few Marvel projects that he's working on that have yet to come out. They just released a trailer for the holiday special to go for the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is still yet to come out as well. So are we going to maybe see less involvement in the post-production side? Is there a conflict of interest? We've seen people switch sides here and there, but I don't know if we've ever seen someone work on both sides at the same time.
Yeah. I don't know.
So for the final thought on this, let's say we had James and Peter sit in front of us right now. We get to get one wish project greenlit, whether it's a specific character, whatever. Like we have a TV show, movie in mind, and we tell them, you got to do this, and they're going to do it and then incorporate into this universe. What is our wish project, each of us? Do you have one in the chamber?
That's a great one. I would like to see. This goes back to the comic book days, reading with one of my kids. Batman and Scooby-Doo. I would love. There's some animated video or some animated movies, but I would love to see. Doesn't matter if it's Robert Pattinson.
So you don't care that this is in the DCEU. It could be. It could not be.
Yeah.
You just want to see a live action
Batman
and Scooby-Doo.
Yep. And they get that original live action cast from.
This sounds crazy, but James Gunn wrote the screenplay for that live action cast.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
he was the screenplay writer for that, actually.
There you go.
So I got to be honest, when you first said that, I was like, well, that's a little out there.
But you never know.
It's more plausible than some projects, I would say right now.
They share the comic book realm. Yeah. Let's bring it to life, baby.
Let's get them started here. We'll get them started. We got the Batmobile here.
Ooh, that sounded nice.
Thank you. Had this since I was a kid. I don't think any of the buttons work anymore, though.
Can Fred fit in there?
Probably not, but
he's going on a ride along today.
Yeah, he's going. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right there. That's for you, James Gunn. That's an idea. We're just spitting it out there. We don't care which Batman it is as long as Fred is working with Batman.
I think
that's the thumbnail right there.
Yep, the Riddler kidnapped Scoob and Shag, and he doesn't know what's going on. So Fred's out with Batman looking for him.
Yeah.
Help him out.
What's this button do? Oh, shoot.
Whoa!
I totally forgot what this toy does. I had it when I was a kid. There we go. Watch that. Yeah, there we go. Fred's guns ablazing right now.
That's right.
Don't mess with Fred. You mess with Daphne, you mess with Fred right now, boys.
Yep. His ascot got a little tighter.
Yeah, it did. I'm going to say my quick wish project. I kind of mentioned this last week or a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Black Adam. I want to see the Green Lanterns in this universe. Mm-hmm. We need to get the Green Lantern. I don't care which human Green Lantern you bring in. It could be Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner. Heck, I'll take Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner is like the least favorite of the Green Lanterns. I'll take him at this point. If you want to expand this universe and actually establish this universe in a celestial sense, you bring in the Green Lanterns. And he's perfect for this because Guardians of the Galaxy is kind of...
Yep. Who was that years ago? I told you about that rumor that somebody was going to play Green Lantern. Who was it? Was it Chris Hemsworth?
Still haven't come true, by the way.
Yeah,
and you're just doubling down on it.
Was it Chris Hemsworth?
It was Chris Hemsworth. Yeah. He tried to bring this article to me saying Chris Hemsworth. This was like the height of Thor, by the way. This was like right after Thor Ragnarok. He's like, Chris Hemsworth coming over as Green Lantern. I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. Now, a couple of years later, and still haven't seen it.
Still haven't seen it.
So. But that's some of our thoughts on the latest news. Let's move into the weekly preview, talk about what's coming out in the movie world. On Wednesday, October 26th, so already out by the time this has premiered, The Good Nurse. Not a spinoff of The Good Doctor, the ABC show, although that'd be interesting. No, this is a Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne movie. Chastain plays a nurse at a hospital where apparently Redmayne's character is being investigated for killing his patients.
Yep.
Here's the scary part. This is based off true events.
Yes, there are multiple stories out there of nurses and or doctors or even like senior center people that do this to their patients. And it's terrible, but it's a real thing. And I think even if they're bringing a movie about it, it hopefully will bring some more awareness, although it's very hard to know.
Well, you say that, but the trailer mentions like, oh yeah, he's worked at like 8 other hospitals and similar things have happened.
Yep.
I'm not a detective, or not a good one at least. But you don't need Batman to solve this crime.
No.
There's a pattern here.
Yep. You got to get the proof. The proof is in the pudding.
No, apparently his poison's in the pudding.
It's poison.
That's how that was a really bad joke in poor taste.
Poison's in the pudding.
Yeah, that was in bad taste, as was the pudding. Didn't taste good. I'm done. Coming out Friday, October 28th, the big premiere here, Pray for the Devil. Get it? It's a play on words.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that at first. I've been seeing this trailer and this poster for forever, and then finally when I was doing this, I was like, oh, the Pray is a double entendre there.
Yep.
That's kind of clever. But seriously, this movie apparently watched The Exorcist and was like, hold my holy water. This looks scary as heck.
It does. It looks interesting because it talks about one of the first female exorcisms. And exorcists, what do you call those pastors or preachers that do that?
I think they're just priests.
Priests?
Yeah.
So a female priest.
Yeah.
So this will be. It looks cool. It looks fun. Looks scary.
To my knowledge, I don't believe this is based off of a true story.
No. Just a story.
Yeah, a scary one at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, this demon possessed this little girl's mother, and is now essentially followed her to her adult life as she tries to learn this art of exorcism and everything too. So, a real legacy story. A real. You took out, it's like the classic superhero trope. You killed my mother, I will get my revenge thing.
Yeah, you killed my father.
Prepare to be exorcised.
What is that from the Northman?
I thought you were quoting The Princess Bride.
Oh no, you killed my father.
I haven't seen the Northman yet.
I will avenge you, father. I will save you, mother, and I will kill you, Fiona. And that's his mantra. Yep.
That line's going to be in the movie for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Let's take a quick moment here and talk about the Marshall 6 Theater here in Marshall, Minnesota. Spooky season is in full swing. They got a wide selection of movies to choose from here, from the scariest of monsters to some fun action movies, as well as a kid movie here or there as well. So you're going to want to check out their website for showtimes and check out which days they have special deals. Some days are better than others to come in at, and great place to check that out is at the Marshall 6 website.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Also coming out in theaters, Tar. Not the road pavement Tar. This is a name. Played by Kate Blanchett. It is a composer movie. Although not based on a true story of a specific person, some people have said that this is kind of based on an amalgamation of many famous composers throughout the years and everything. And one thing I do find interesting, just a little background knowledge here, this movie won Blanchett Best Actress at the Venice Film Festival when this premiered there. And that is some heavy hitters to beat at the Venice Film Festival. So looking at this trailer, I can see where they're coming from.
Yeah. I think same thing with Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne. I think both of them, just their acting performances are going to be great alone. Whether or not the film's good, but this looks very interesting, and she looks like she's giving a powerhouse performance here.
Yeah, I don't know much about the composer world.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm dumb. I just kind of thought they were pointing, just keeping the beat.
Keep the beat.
I don't know how you become the best composer. I always thought the musicians were kind of doing a lot of the work there. Shows how much I know. And I'm sure someone will let me know how wrong I am and make me eat my words. And I do apologize in advance for that, but I still stand by it. Also coming out that same weekend, Till. This is also coming to theaters. This is the movie that basically goes into the tragic story of Emmett Till. Not only that, but it also kind of shows some of the aftermath from this horrible event. It shows kind of how his mother reacted, what she was doing and everything, kind of what this inspired afterwards, the aftermath and everything.
Yep. I feel like this is going to be the first like big screen adaptation, I believe, of this. I've seen smaller things, but nothing to this extent. And I feel like half the film is about him and the other half is about his mom and the aftermath and everything that kind of else goes into it. And I think there was a big spark maybe a couple of years ago where some new information came out, and I think
it was actually this past summer.
Past summer?
Yes, that and that's what I was going to say is this movie is coming out at an interesting time because there is some new information out there. Apparently, I kind of read an article. It was basically saying like, well, there was like a worn out. Maybe there was some other shady stuff going on and everything.
Yeah.
I am curious because we know how movie making works. It's not really quick. I'm curious if this came out soon and new information came out soon enough where that's going to be included in this or not.
Yeah.
Also coming out, and I know you're pretty excited about this one, All Quiet on the Western Front. This one's coming to Netflix. It is a German war film set in World War I. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this kind of takes the perspective of a German soldier in the trenches and everything. This is based off of a book that was written all the way back in 1928. So shortly after World War I occurred. This is the third adaptation of this book. Kind of the sense I got from this trailer was that they were trying to say during this war, there was no safe space.
Yes, and if you've seen the original film, I believe it's like the late 30s, early 30s,
1930,
maybe?
I think.
1930 was, yeah. Awesome film, and if you can watch the full film, it starts out as it's supposed to be a happy propaganda. Let's go to war, be strong. We're Germans. We have German pride. Everybody should want to join. And then you see as it all goes through the horrors of war, and then at the end, it's almost the complete opposite of them trying to feed the youth because he comes back to his hometown, and the teacher's like, hey, come talk to our class. Come tell us how awesome the war was. All these kids are looking up to you. And he's no, it's not fun. It's not good. This is not a good thing. And it's very one of those anti-war movies, but shot kind of, it's I'm excited to see it.
as it should be. I mean, World War One, like, people were dying by the thousands on a weekly, maybe even sometimes daily basis in these areas.
See, and it reminds me of almost like American Sniper, where that's a awesome movie, but it is a total anti-war movie. War is bad. That's what you get from it, but it does the kind of, I don't want to say glorifying, but like,
he's good at this thing, but it's a terrible thing that he doesn't want to be good at.
Yeah, so I'm excited, and just to see the similarities, because there's a couple of really good, I shouldn't say good, just a couple interesting scenes that they did in the 30s that I thought were groundbreaking for then, and then now we'll see how that carries over into this new one.
Also coming out this weekend on Netflix as well, Wendelland Wild. Stop-motion animation that looks like kind of Tim Burton-esque, just a bit more colorful.
Yeah.
And speaking of spooky, written by Jordan Peele and Henry Selick, who I believe also wrote the book that this is based on. It's also going to feature some voice acting from Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key. Key and Peele are back again. Not doing a comedy so much this time, although their characters seem to be kind of funnier, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks fun. I like animated stuff or stop motion. I'd just say the more avant-garde film, and the story looks funny. It's a kids movie. I think it's gonna do great.
Well, it's a kids movie, but like they're trying to drag her to the dark parts of the afterlife, right?
My kids are gonna watch it. I think it is what it is.
Hey, you do you, man. You do you. I will say this is probably the closest to the kids movie we have this weekend.
True.
There's a lot of R ratings here.
Yes.
This is like the only PG-13 one, I think. So by comparison to everything else,
I didn't even know it was PG-13.
I believe it's PG-13. Yeah. We'll have to. I made the graphic. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But finally coming out on Amazon Prime this weekend, Run, Sweetheart, Run. All right, I went into this not knowing anything, so I'm watching the trailer. Thought it was going to be kind of like a fun rom-com. I see the guy who played Agent Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Avengers on there. And then the Blumhouse logo shows up, and then I was like, oh, yeah, that's right, it's Halloween weekend.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? We're watching a rom-com here. It kind of... I'm not going to say it's an adaptation, but it definitely is taking elements from the famous short story, The Most Dangerous Game.
Yep.
Which, if you don't know, is kind of this story. I'm getting my wires crossed here. Is the story about a person who hunts humans.
Yep.
So take that as you will.
And there's plenty of movies that have come out recently about people hunting other people. So many.
Yeah. This isn't necessarily a new thing. Is there some fourth wall breaking in this?
I like that. In the trailer, they showed one fourth wall breaking. It was like, it was a whole new twist on the film.
We're following them before all the bad stuff goes down. We're following them into the house, and then doesn't the dude turn and stop,
turn,
and then the camera stops pushing forward?
Yeah, he tells the camera to stop, and the camera stops, and then they go in and close the door.
And then it was right after that the Blumhouse logo showed up, and then that was the moment I was like, "Oh, this isn't gonna go good."
Yeah.
And then immediately after that, the girl's coming out all bloody and everything. I was like, "Oh, yep, nope, we're watching a scary movie."
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And I can't remember that actor's name off the top of my head, but I really like him.
He's going all in on it. And that's everything coming out this weekend. Let's talk about things we have seen in the past. Number one recommend time. Ryan, I'm going to let you start us off. What did you check out recently?
All right, so recently I watched The Watcher on Netflix. Absolutely loved it. Very psychological thriller. Now, the only critique I have is I was very familiar with The Watcher story years ago when it first appeared online. So I knew the original story very well because I've heard it talked about many different times on many different channels, and awesome. Now, the thing that I don't mind is that because they had this awesome story, but the actual story isn't quite as impressive as the TV show. So obviously they're adding stuff in to make it more suspicious and more mysterious. there's a thing with John List in there that also has absolutely nothing to do with the real Watcher story, but John List's story himself is very messed up, and they just kind of take it in there, and yeah, it's interesting. But I really enjoyed the show. The acting was great, very suspenseful all the way through, and it leaves you hanging. So it's I highly recommend it. Check it out.
We talked earlier on in the show about the DC universe, what state it's in and everything, still kind of in flux. I'm going to talk about Black Adam. That was kind of the latest movie in this DCEU. I will say the movie overall is fine.
Yep.
And for DC, that's a win. So we're going to recommend that movie right now. Already killing it in the box office. We're not going to talk about the spoiler, even though it's been publicly said, but just in case people haven't said it yet or seen it yet, we won't talk about it. The action is pretty fun at some moments, and Dwayne Johnson is pretty good. Like I said, really nothing to complain about with this movie.
Yeah.
And for DC, that's a win, and we will take that win to the bank. But that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. If you have any of your own recommendations, obviously put them down in the comments down below, or just let us know in the street. Just stop knocking on my apartment door. I don't know how you people found me, to be honest. There are relatives I have that don't know where I live, so that's a little creepy. But it is Halloween, obviously, so creepy is the vibe here. But for myself and Ryan Meyerberg, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and have a safe and spooky Halloween.